stirring the Vienna roast made in a percolator coffee using the tactical chopsticks from K-Bar, using the Vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee at the molecular level. Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. We'll get started, but first, Vienna roast coffee made in a percolator. It's my second day of having it. Yesterday, I was actually quite surprised. It came from Weiss Markets. Nice. Nice. Does not disappoint. Let's get started here. First of all, I just want to say today's show is sponsored by Bose. You know, I'm a huge Bose fan. I've had this for a while. I take this to when I cut hair. Look at this thing. It's about the size of a sandwich. If you're from Philly, it's called a hoagie, which I have no idea where that word came from. But this speaker is amazing. I am a Bose family kind of guy. I have this Bluetooth speaker right here, this big dog. It's kind of like old-fashioned looking, but I like it. But this new one here, unbelievable. I've got the headphones, I've got earbuds, a home theater system, stereo speakers. I've been a Bose guy for many, many years. And I will tell you that I haven't heard better sound. I know some people say, well, I have the JBL Bluetooth speaker. Sorry, bro. Bose. This, you can put this anywhere in a room and it detects the position that it's in and provides room-filling sound. It literally gets feedback from the acoustics in the room, whether it's like this, like this, like this, hanging by the little loop, whatever. I've had that playing like where I cut hair and people are like, just like looking around, looking for the speaker. It's really funny. And then when they see it, they say things like, that sound is coming out of that little thing? There's nothing else? I said, no, there's nothing else. So today, the Bose Flex Bluetooth speaker is the sponsor of the show. I'll put a link for it down below. Order it from Amazon. If you don't like it, return it. Amazon's good like that, but I guarantee you that you won't return it. Big Bose fan, and I'm hoping that you will be too. Can we just sit here while I drink coffee? It might help if I put on my microphone, right? Try this now. That's probably better, I would imagine. Sorry about that. I was too excited about my coffee and too excited about the Bose speaker. Well, strap yourself in. You know who I was thinking would be a great guest on Pearl's show? Would be Jen Molesky. Jennifer, see what you can do about getting on Pearl's show. And Pearl, if you can get Jen on your show, I think it's going to break the internet. I really do. I just think the intellectual nuclear fusion would be pretty cool on there. Just my opinion. And if you both do it, thank me later for the success and the great reviews that you get. All right, CPAC is going on this weekend, the Conservative Political Action Committee in Washington, and there's drag queens there. Hey, Republicans, good for you. Good for you. It's amazing. It's amazing watching the Republican Party just spiral down and just become like every other shithead party that there is. It's just amazing. Amazing. I can't even tell the difference anymore between a Republican and a Democrat. Can't. Mind. 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, but our government is making sure people in Ukraine don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. Nothing against the Ukrainian people. Nothing. I hate my fucking government. I can't stand the Ukraine government. And if you have a Ukraine flag in your profile or in your front yard or a yellow and blue ribbon, you are part of the problem, comrade. I believe in God the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, and in Jesus Christ, his only Son, our Lord, who was conceived by the Holy Spirit, born of the Virgin Mary, suffered under Pontius Pilate, was crucified, dead, and was buried. He descended into hell. On the third day he rose again from the dead. He ascended into heaven, and is seated at the right hand of God the Father Almighty. From thence he will come to judge the quick and the dead. I believe in the Holy Spirit, the Holy Catholic Church, the communion of saints, the forgiveness of sins, the resurrection of the body, and life everlasting. Amen. Thank you, Lord, for the Apostles' Creed. That's what I believe. It's harder to live it than it is to believe it. But when belief starts working its way out in your actions, people get saved, people get help, people get fed, people get clothed, inmates get visited, mercy gets given. It's amazing. How does an old player redeem himself? How does a man who was sexually indulgent for most of his adult life get redemption? How does that happen? And I'm not talking about sexual addiction. I'm talking about a guy who was just a straight player. How do you get redemption? The same way Solomon did. He wrote about it. He warned young men. He wrote down maxims, ideas, conclusions. That's what the book of Proverbs is all about. And that's what this channel is all about. That's why I called it Listen, My Son, a play on the book of Proverbs. How does an old player redeem himself? The website oldhousesunder50k.com. Yeah, there are houses for sale under 50K. They might be fixer-uppers, but many of them are on 1, 2, 5, 10, 20 acres. They might be in places that you never heard of, but there are houses and real estate available. Oldhousesunder50k.com. Thank me later. Just pray for him, someone says. Okay. Yeah, I'll pray that he gets everything coming to him with a sprinkle of pain and suffering. I don't feel guilty for wishing the worst on my enemies or someone who, if you have someone in your life that's been a real shithead to you and it has left a trail of victims and people that are hurt, rejoice in their downfall. There's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I'll pray for him. I'll pray that he falls into a ditch. Some guys will say, no hymen, no diamond. As if she had one, you'd run right to the jewelry store, right? Yeah, okay. If there was the island of virgins, half the men in this world wouldn't know what the hell to do if they landed on that island. Gosh. Thank God I grew up in an era where there was lust. And there was more shit going on inside my head than there was in real life when I was younger. And then when I got older, it started happening in real life. Regretfully, to, what would be the word? To exhaustion, right? Workout to exhaustion? Yeah, I played, read between the lines there, to exhaustion, where I couldn't do even one more set. I'm using sex and working out as an analogy here. I think that's why I love the solitary life. I think that's why I enjoy not having a bunch of girlfriends anymore. I'm just tired of the life, tired of it. Can you actually get tired of that stuff? You really can. You really can. That's why I'm just so pro. Have a cup of coffee by yourself, read a book, throw a log on the fireplace, the fire pit, smoke a pipe, listen to some music, have a little glass of bourbon, have a good evening by yourself. I think the pendulum swung in the other direction. I have news. Last Sunday night, I ended up going to my little biker bar and watching a Grateful Dead band. I put the word out there on Sunday afternoon. A fella that follows me, and I follow him on Twitter. He's a funeral director, a mortician, embalmer, guy, and he has a ministry coaching practice that helps guys overcome porn addiction. Timothy Regal, I was on his podcast recently. I'll post a link for it. He met me there. We had a nice dinner of Southern cuisine, ribs and chicken and sausage stuffing and a couple lager beers, which is pretty rare for me. That's my beer for the year. You know, I have like maybe one beer a year, or one sitting, you know, with a couple beers every year. And a Grateful Dead band, which was fantastic. But this was the bar that me and my buddy Craig used to go to on a weekly basis. And it helped. It actually helped going there and seeing a few people that I knew. And it was good. It was good. And I was out of there by 8 o'clock at night. I think I went there at 4 in the afternoon, stayed from like 4 to 8. The band played from 4 to 8. And it was a milestone for me. It was like it helped me get over a hump. I don't know what the word would be. I had a stumbling block in my head. Sorry about that. I had to get that out. Some people say, did you just fart? You know, because the chair that I sit on makes all kinds of noises. See that? That's a chair creaking. Looking at my single, divorced female peers, the lonely, strong, independent woman thing. It's not just a meme. They divorced their children's dad years ago. They put him through hell. He's doing great. She hit the wall years ago. The vodka wall does not forgive. Now they're taking trips with strangers and fake friends. Enjoy the camaraderie of a group. What is this called? It's a travel agency. Travel solo with the camaraderie of a group if you have no one to travel with. By the end, you're one big happy family, said traveler Cheryl. There's never a loss for anyone to eat with or sit down with or have wine with. Join us on a stress-free adventure of a lifetime. And it shows 5 women standing in front of the Eiffel Tower, waiting for the next picture of a bunch of women at the top of Machu Picchu. It ain't pretty, ladies. Take my word for it. Now, if you're a widow, that's a different story. But if you've been running through men and men have been running through you and you get a little bit older, well, you kind of brought that on yourself. No bigger buzzkill than a corporate woman who's successful, right? Everyone else is patting them on the back. Aloof, selfish, mud runs, Obama and Biden voting, trips to Paris and Machu Picchu, redemption on Sunday mornings. You fit into their plan, bro. Use them and lose them. Never invest a single emotion into a successful corporate woman. They are nothing but trouble. They love calling another man boss. And they're not worth one single calorie or emotion from you. Not one. They made their bed. They got to sleep in it. That's just the way it is. Regretfully, I had my share of strong, independent women. Their nightstand drawers are filled with condoms, lube, vibrators, and handcuffs. And on your way to the shower, she says, towels are in the hall closet. After you got a shitty night's sleep, paranoid, and wondering if her ex is going to slash your tires. That's the reality of the player life. You know, it's kind of funny. Like, you think you're such a player. I'm talking about me now. You think you're such a player. You think you're so special, just like landing different women and bedding them down. Now, this is not my life now, but this is how I used to live. You think you're cool. But you always wonder, are your tires going to get slashed? Is there going to be a knock at the door from her ex? Or the guy that she's currently dating, who she thought was away on a business trip? Yeah. It ain't worth it, dude. It ain't worth it. It really isn't. Focus. Focus. Focus is the $100 million lottery ticket that you found and you didn't turn in. You're sitting on a fortune only if you could focus. Focus. Even if you have to take a timer, literally an analog kitchen timer, set it for 15 minutes. Do one thing for 15 minutes. One thing, whatever your task is. Returning emails, writing an email, doing something for business, doing one thing for 15 minutes. When that timer goes off, get up, take a walk, go to the bathroom, Make a cup of tea, cup of coffee. Speaking of coffee. And then go back, set it again for 15 minutes. What is your threshold for attention deficit? When do you start getting fidgety? If you're like me and you got a million thoughts racing through your head, you got to discipline yourself to sit for 10, 15, 20 minutes and get one thing done. One thing. Now, if you can get 21 things done during the day, pat yourself on the back. But you have to start training yourself to focus. Focus is the $100 million lottery ticket that you found that you never turned in. The minute you start focusing on things, exercising singular focus on a task is the minute you start succeeding. ADD boy. The red pill lens can't hurt you. It may save your life or at the very least minimize your tailspin or keep you from making another mistake. There's lots of good coaches out there who understand red pill teaching and they care about you. So don't throw out the red pill. Throw out the manosphere. It's a divisive shit show filled with crazies. But the red pill lens, be that silent, strong, silent type with an understanding of how the world is, not how you want it to be, and you're going to be fine. Longevity of your marriage is not the best metric to prove one's success. I know a lot of cucked men with long marriages. I was married for 29 years. Okay. All right. But every year you post on Facebook how lucky you are that she stayed with you. I don't know why she chose me. I don't know why you stay with me every Valentine's Day. I don't deserve this woman. Keep telling her that, bro. Ski. She's eventually going to believe you. You've been telling her that for 10 years, and guess what? She believed you. And she's acted appropriately behind your back. Quick question, are all your kids yours? How dare you ask that, George? Really? There is a certain percentage of men who are raising another man's child. Are all your kids yours? How do you know? You know the one kid that doesn't look like you? Is that your child? Well, what would I do if I found that out? I believe paternity tests should be given upon birth of a child. There are men out there raising another man's child and don't know it. Who has gotten canceled on social media? Who? Who do you know that's gotten canceled? Banned. Those are the people you need to listen to. Because remember in medieval times, they used to pull the tongues out of truth tellers. Now we just cancel them. People who speak the truth. We ban them. Who are they? You know who they are. They're saying things that are important. Every Christian woman I know who divorced her husband did so for 2 reasons. This fella tweets. He left the church of her choosing, or 2, his income was not where she wanted it. Number 2 was probably the driving force behind number 1. Christian women divorce their husbands at the same rate that non-Christian women do. Being Christian is no guarantee. It's no insurance policy on a marriage. The stats are the same for Christian people and non-Christian people. So enough with this stuff that Christians stand a better chance. They don't. Ask any pastor who's going to be honest with you. Think about what you can't say on social media. Just think about what can get you canceled. Think about it. That's how you know it's right. Just say it, and you're going to attract a certain tribe of people and repel others. So if you speak, I don't want to say speak your truth, because that's a bunch of bullshit. Speak your truth. If you speak the truth, not your truth, if you speak the truth, you will attract your tribe on social media. Many of you want to start a YouTube channel. You want to grow. You want to have a following like this. This is an organic following, 175,000 people. I've never have purchased one single subscriber. You either like what I say or you don't. If you like it, you subscribe. If you don't subscribe. It's simple as that. And I only did it by speaking the truth. Not by being controversial, not by being clickbait. If you want to start a successful social media career or side gig or side hustle part-time and build it up to the point where you can maybe even leave your full-time job or go down to part-time, you can do it. It's possible. I did it. You can do it too. Who should you respect? Authors who did the research, counselors who have listened to people and guided them for decades, the successful with real life receipts and not lies and bullshit, those who have solutions, those with a little bit of gray hair and have been through it, those who messed up and then changed. That's who you should be listening to. Sharing your thoughts on social media gets you disinvited from certain parties, but gets you invited to the ones that you really want to be at. I'm probably one of the most disinvited men in the men's community. I've been disinvited from various organizations and men's gatherings, but as a result, invited to other ones that I like much, much more. Speak the truth. Sharing your thoughts gets you disinvited from certain ones, but gets you invited to the ones that you really want to be at. One listener says, George, I found your channel back in 2020 when my girlfriend and mother of my child of 6 years left me. I left a comment on a post you made expressing my inability to cope. You said, you will be okay. You will be. That's all I really needed to hear at that time. Reassurance. Thank you for uploading your videos and being there for your fellow man. In more ways than one, these videos saved my life. I still have a lot to work on. Looking forward to your next upload. You are welcome, young man. I fall into the category of like what I talked about. I messed up, found out, course corrected, and then changed myself. I made the mistakes. I jokingly say I made the mistakes so you don't have to. I've been there. I've been there, and I have the scars and emotionally and physically to prove it. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's that time when I tell you to stop trying to get her back and get you back. It's not like she went to a convent when you guys split up. Get you back. Stop trying to get a woman back, fella. Stop it. Stop it. If she wants to go, she left you. Do not try to get her back. You don't want a field that other farmers plowed and planted in anyways, do you? You want to share her with another man for a couple weeks, and then she comes back to you, realizing that she had it better with you? Once she goes, out. That's a one-way door there. They don't come back once they leave. If she cheats, she goes. You would be surprised at how many people on Gab, not Twitter, on Gab. People get mad at me for saying that. So you're just going to give up on a marriage or relationship just because someone screws up? Yes. Yes. Yes.
How many dicks in her mouth is too many?
How many? 1, 2. If she cheats, she goes. Make a plan. Keep your emotions out of it. It can be done. You're not a hero for keeping a field that other farmers plowed and planted. Working and career can bring challenge and stress, but she's not supposed to bring you stress. No early grave, bro. You're not going to get a medal for hanging in there with a wayward woman or a woman that causes you difficulty.
She's supposed to make your dick hard, not your life hard.
What's the matter with you? If you already decided to exit, I can help you with that. Reach out to me, gb@georgebruno.com. I have a 5-package coaching session that will help you with that. I'm not going to lie, it's not easy, but it can be done. I have helped men exit relationships and marriages for many, many years. Save the man, not the marriage. If the man gets saved, the marriage might stand a chance. But if it doesn't, guess what's still living and thriving? The man. The man. Save the man, not the marriage. Your biggest asset is your ability to work and learn a new money-making skill. Your biggest liability is your unwillingness to learn a new money-making skill. It's as simple as that. Here's a tip for people who want to break into speaking at conferences and doing podcasts and such. There's so many great conferences out there, not just to attend, but to speak at. Do not wait for your damn phone to ring or get an email. If you want to be a content creator, be taken seriously, you need to reach out to people who are event organizers. Send a message to the organizer. Send any sample content links. Explicitly describe how the event attendees will benefit from having you at the event. You don't need to send a resume. A short bio and a headshot or a picture, maybe an action shot somehow, will help sell you. Things that are always of interest are fitness and health, money, side hustles, businesses, and of course, love, dating, divorce recovery. If you are not an author, speaker, or business owner, maybe you can volunteer. Are you good with organizing, with administration, email marketing, branding? Another great way to participate is to maybe request a press pass and write and record interviews, podcasts, and videos of the event. You can get 6 months worth of your own content, long form and especially short form, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. If you are a supporter of the organizer, sell the benefits and the impact of having you there. I'm going to be speaking at several conferences this year. One that comes to mind is the Mission of Excellence. It's going to be held in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's a one-day event. If you go to missionofexcellence.com, you will see what it's all about and see who the speakers are. They just added one of my favorite guys. Now, all the guys I like. All the guys. I truly like everyone. I have been at conferences before where I don't like some of the people, but this group of people I can 100% endorse, personally endorse. Okay? They're not extreme. They're not weirdos. They're not just not troublemaking idiots. Good guys. But one guy I'm very excited about is Steve Maeda, who helps divorced men. He's a man after my own heart. Guys that are going through a tough time, join his group. Good fellow. I interviewed him before. He was on my show 2 years ago. But I can't wait to see him again. That's this October, Mission of Excellence. I'll see you in Charlotte if you're a guy, right? Gab is a funny platform. And they have a new AI art generator called Gabby. And I asked, where can I become wealthy? Just to see. It generated a picture. It was an absolute mic drop moment for me. This is the picture that it generated when I asked, where can I get wealthy? Come to your own conclusions about that. I was a lock 'em up and throw away the key kind of guy when it comes to criminals. I kind of still am. And then I realized many years ago that justice and mercy go hand in hand. Jesus said, when I was in prison, you visited me. Now, one of my favorite activities is prison ministry. I started doing prison ministry when I was like 21 years old. Even if it's going in once a week to a prison and reading, doing a reading group, something simple, you're doing the Lord's work. If you've never done prison ministry, look into it. Just Google it. You can just Google prison ministry near me. There are incarcerated people around. It doesn't matter where you live. There's jails and prisons. Even if you are, like me, a lock 'em up and throw away the key kind of guy, I'm not saying that they're not guilty. What I am saying is this, that they deserve mercy. Justice has already been done. You can't do anything about that. They're serving out their sentence. Justice is done. And the system, so to speak, is not there to provide mercy. The system provides justice. The mercy comes from you. If you've been involved in prison ministry of any type, put your comment down below. I'd love to hear that. And I may be doing a series of videos on how to be involved in prison ministry. It is one of the most rewarding ministries. spiritually rewarding because you're not going to get anything else out of it. No one's going to pat you on the back for going into a prison and talking to a thief, a murderer, an embezzler. No one's going to say, hey, good job. But the Lord commands us to go to prison and visit people. John Paul DeJoria, one of my favorite business mentors, says, in managing people, now he's the founder of Paul Mitchell Systems, the hair product company, and they also have some great beauty schools and barber academies across the world. Some of the best. I've taught at a few of them. In managing people, never scold anyone. Write down these 3 things on paper. 1, what they did wrong. 2, how to do it right. And then 3, list all the things they normally do well. So they feel respected for what they do well, and they walk out not feeling like they've been reprimanded. I love that. Absolutely love that. I still say that his speech to the business school at Stanford University is the single best motivating business speech I've ever heard. It's on YouTube. John Paul DeJoria at Stanford. Those of you who have watched it have written back to me and said, wow, you are right. It's the best. There is no better business motivation speech anywhere. Anywhere. You're going to love it. John Paul DeJoria at Stanford. Look it up. Last year, I met a guy by the name of Troy Francis, who's kind of a coach guy. He's got a channel that teaches men how to meet women. Some people don't like the guy. I was neutral about him until I met him. And the first thing that comes to my mind was, he's graceful, he's a gentleman, he has a nice combination of confidence, he does have humility, and he's eager to teach men. And he's compassionate towards men and some of their plight. I know some people give him shit, and I think I did for a while there, several years ago, and he gave it back pretty good as well. But check him out. Check him out. I started a protege for a day program that, like when I go somewhere and speak, when I do events, I offer one fortunate fellow the opportunity to shadow me. I even had a woman do it once, to shadow me as I host, MC, or speak at various events. They get to see the inner workings of an event, pick my brain, all with the hope that they get inspired to do the same someday. Take somebody younger, less experienced, with less experience, and show them the inner workings of a professional event, or whatever you do. Mentoring is where it's at. I love this movie poster. He turned men into killers and women into animals. It's the movie Rasputin, the Mad Monk. And if you went to the theater, I guess this was in 1967, it was a Hammer film. That's all I need to say. For some of you, that's all you need to hear. It's a Hammer film. When you went to the movie, you got a free Rasputin beard that you put on, hooked over your ears. It was a beard. Why did they give you a beard? To disguise yourself from the forces of evil. I so miss 1960s and 70s Hollywood, especially the Hammer films, when they would give you things like 3D glasses and like a fake beard to disguise you from the forces of evil. Oh, those days are long over with, but the copy on the movie posters is the best. He turned men into killers and women into animals. Oh, by the way, the actor was Christopher Lee in that movie. I've never seen the movie, but I'm looking at the movie poster right now, and I have to find the movie now. Have to find it. How can you not like a movie with that headline? Rasputin, the Mad Monk. It's awesome. Hotel, bars, and restaurants for those that want to meet somebody. I didn't say bed down somebody, but I'm sure that's what some people are thinking about. The food and drinks are expensive, but the dessert is free. Think about this. 80% of affairs begin in the workplace. 80% of all affairs begin in the workplace. Hotel, bars, and restaurants are the single best place to meet a woman for a hookup, if you want to. So I've heard. At your wife's job right now, there's two guys that want to bang her. One who's just wishing he could. The other is messaging her, stopping by her office, happening to be in the area, making subtle moves, but she's not telling you or admit to it because she knows that you'll get mad. Let's go back. One click. 80% of all affairs begin in the workplace. That's the good news and the bad news. And with that, finish your coffee, your Vienna roast coffee made in a percolator. And I'll see you on the next Daybreak Show, your home of sanity, clarity, and reason.